Hey guys, Ryan Bailey for Charlotte FC. This is Between Two Pints, and joining me with an update on our academy is our academy manager, Mr. Dan Locke. Dan, how are you today?
I'm great, thanks, Ryan. How you doing?
Very good indeed. All the better for having you join me here today, Dan. We've had some really encouraging games from our academy against MLS opposition lately. How are the academy teams doing?
Really good. It's progressing well. Since we came back after January, we've been able to have some really good games against the likes of Atlanta, Orlando. This past weekend we played Columbus Crew, and we played the Crew back in January as well. So those MLS games really give us a good test against established MLS clubs and academies who've been around for a number of years. And in terms of just their different styles, the quality of players they have, it really does kind of push our boys out their comfort zone a little bit and show us where we're at, give us a good benchmark of where we measure up against some of the top teams in the country.
And what have you been most pleased with from what you've seen, Dan? You say we played the Crew back in January. Have you seen some decent development since then to this most recent game?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's really good for, first of all, for the under-14s. They've really progressed a lot since the fall. Mark Simpson there, the coach, and the coaching staff have done an excellent job in bringing that team along. I think with the 17s as well, you're starting to see now parts of our playing identity come through in terms of how we want to press, some transition to attacking moments. We've scored some good goals on the counter-attack, some individual defending. So I think it's starting to, you're layering those identities now, looking ahead long term for next year. So it's coming along well. We still need to improve a lot in possession, I would say. So it's the next kind of point for the boys to become more consistent from game to game. But it's really good to see kind of from week to week different areas of our playing identity come through.
Well, sounds like there's plenty of positives on the field, Dan. How about off the field? What kind of development are we seeing there? Of course, it's very important, an important focus of this academy to develop the players off the field too.
Yeah, I think from a training perspective, it's those standards. They train 4 days a week with us. It's an extensive schedule. So really trying to hit professional standards every day in training. In terms of off the field, we've started our community hours program with the players. So they all have to do a certain amount of community hours through to the end of the year. So some examples, we've had Simon on the under-14s do a wonderful book drive, collected books for underprivileged children. We've had Landon Lynch do a kind of a soccer equipment collection for underprivileged communities, and then Ethan do a really good food bank drive for homeless children. So it's really good to see the boys getting out in the Charlotte community and reaching out and doing some wonderful initiatives. So that's been really good. And then obviously we hired Sarah Smith as our education welfare coordinator back in January. So she's been doing a lot of work with the boys in terms of their education, giving them some extra tutoring, as we feel that's a really important part as well, is making sure the boys do well in school.
Excellent to hear. Now, we've been live streaming some recent matches, Dan. We're live streaming again on the 28th, the game against Inter Miami in Jacksonville. How excited have the players been to know they've been streaming out there for the masses to watch them?
Yeah, it's been good. It's a really good experience for them because it's adds the element of, the professionalism. It's what eventually they're going to get to. So the more we can expose them to that, the better. It adds a bit of pressure for them. So they have to perform under pressure and the previous game against Atlanta, there's quite a few kind of fans there watching. We saw, was it Mr. Sombrero Man with his drum behind the goal? Right. So that added a bit of atmosphere, and there was quite a few people watching. So it's great for them, and it's really wonderful that the club have been able to do it. So a big thank you to the media team for putting on a real professional broadcast, and with the commentary and everything, it just adds an added layer of professionalism to their development.
It does indeed. Now, what does the upcoming fixture schedule look like then? How many more games are going to be played this season? What does the rest of the campaign look like?
Yeah, so because of the kind of COVID at the moment, our season got really split into two. So the first part of the spring season will end at the end of March with our game against Inter Miami. So we have DC United this coming weekend, and then Inter Miami at the end of the month. Then we'll break for a week, give the boys a week off, and then at that point we'll know our schedule through the remainder of the spring through summer season. We're looking to do a Memorial Day event with other MLS clubs, so that'll be in the works, and then hopefully an end of season event in June, July, kind of to wrap up the year.
Wonderful stuff. Well, Dan, there are also some Academy Talent ID events going on in the region this month. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so we've scheduled 3 through March. This part of the year, in terms of recruitment, is really important for us as we start planning our teams for next year. So we have set up 3 talent ID events, one in Asheville, which will be next week, one in Roanoke this week, and then the last week of March in Winston-Salem. And those ID events are kind of done in coordination with the local clubs there. So the Fusion up in Winston, VBR Star in Roanoke, and then the Asheville Association in Asheville. And those events are targeted towards the top players for under 14 through under 13 through under 15, in a view that we could work closely with those players in their own environment, start developing those relationships and with those communities. And maybe we'll find a couple of talents there that we can then bring in for an extended trial with the academy. And we're hoping to do more of them throughout both states, North and South Carolina, before the summer. And there'll be a consistent thing every year in terms of every season running those events.
So it sounds like there's lots of recruitment going on, Dan, lots of expansion. My final question for you, how's the academy going to grow and expand in 2021?
Yeah, so we're going to add an under 15 team. So we'll have 3 full-time teams next year, under 14, 15 and 17. So added probably around an extra 20 players, give or take. We'll also hire 2 new coaches as well to join the staff. And we'll continue with the discovery program at under 13 and under 12. So a lot of developments. We're really excited. Recruitment is a big part of that, and the local clubs have been a big help with kind of being flexible, with allowing us to bring players in on trial and working together with us on that and recommending players and helping with the process. So that's been a big help.
A lot to be excited for, Dan. Thank you very much for everything you're doing for our club, and thank you for your time today. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers. Take care.